Back at it again, and we have another case of someone crying victim. It will never, and this is the thing about the left currently. It will never be enough until we are all robots and literally don't say anything to anybody and don't interact with anyone. We literally just sit inside of our homes and mind our own business and just do nothing, basically. Because somebody will be offended by something. We don't say a word to somebody when we walk past them. Oh, you walked past a little too fast. I was offended by the gust of wind that hit me as you were walking by. You need to walk by slower. I know some of y'all are like, wait, what? I guarantee you there is somebody out there that would have the gall to say something idiotic like that. No joke. No joke. Well, there was a movie that was recently released, and, yeah, the left is crying once again. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you're new. Make sure you're following me on social media, too. All of those links are down below in the description box. And with that being said, let's dive in.
In the stupidest story of the day, because everything is racist, there is now an outcry against Avatar. So let it be known, I'm not an Avatar fan. I think that Avatar is a wildly overrated movie. Blue Pocahontas or Fern Gully 3D, well, it was not my favorite movie. It is good to look at, and it is incredibly stupid. Well, now apparently people are angry at Avatar, not because it's a dumb movie. They're angry at Avatar because it offends indigenous sensibilities. Well, first of all, I wasn't aware that there are 11-foot tall blue indigenous people on the earth. So I'm not sure exactly what indigenous sensibilities are being offended right here. Are there members of the Pandoran community who are deeply offended by their depiction in Avatar? It is literally a sci-fi movie about another planet far, far away involving 11-foot blue people who can be inhabited by the spirits of others and who apparently ride their horses in the same way that they have sex. It's a very, very weird movie.
Wait. Now, listen, I've never seen the Avatar. The first one or this new one. Never watched it. Never seen it. Obviously, I know what it is. You know, the tall blue people or whatever. Never watched a single bit of it a day in my life. Now, okay, I take that back. I've seen trailers and things like that, you know, clips that you see on social media, the trailer, all of that good stuff. But I've never intentionally sat down and said, hey, I'm going to watch the Avatar. No, not at all. So, yeah, is that true? What in the world? They ride horses in the same manner that they... Somebody make that make sense to me, please.
I know, think about it. If you actually watch the movie, that's actually what happens. They like plug into their horse to ride their horse the same way that they plug into one another to have sexual relations, which raises some very odd questions about the relations between the Pandoran population and their animal population. In any case, the Washington Post has an entire piece about this. Quote, the release of Avatar, The Way of Water, has put the series' creator in hot water yet again, as indigenous people criticize what they call the movie's glamorization of colonialism and racist depiction of native people and culture. When the original Avatar came out in 2009, the science fiction fantasies, robust 3D effects, and stunning visuals drove it to become the highest-grossing film of all time. But indigenous critics say the problematic pitfalls of the first Avatar movie reappear in the sequel, namely in its portrayal of the Na'vi, the movie's alien species inspired by several Native American tribes around the world. The oceanic Na'vi clan that's central to the second film was heavily influenced by the Maori, the indigenous Polynesian people of New Zealand. Cheney Poole, 27, from Christchurch, New Zealand, known as Atautahi Aotearoa in the Maori language, forgive me my mispronunciation, calls the film's portrayal, quote, just another example of the very same upfront and apparent romanticization of colonialization, of colonization. It very much romanticizes the idea of what not only Maori are going through, but many indigenous cultures around the world, and almost downplays the suffering, both from the past and the present. What? First of all, I never heard of this person, and I guess this person is happy they get to be in the Washington Post, but you're offended by a movie about 11-foot tall blue natives on a planet called Pandora, where the chief resource is idiotically called unobtainium because it's unobtainable. Unobtainium. Again, this is one of the dumbest movies ever produced.
Is that what it's really called in the movie? Unobtainium? Yo, if that is true, whoo, man, that is hilarious, son. Hilarious. I read that they spent like $2 billion making this movie, and that's what they called it? Unobtainium? Just let me write the movie, please. Please. Ooh, man. Oh, my goodness. Now, I don't know, like, all of the inner workings of making a movie, but I'm sure there's, like, checks and balances going on, like, whoever writes it, has a editor, that goes through it or rereads it or whatever, and then when they're acting it out, there's people that can kind of, change something here or there, like, hey, I think this would sound better in this moment or this kind of situation to a certain extent. Like, nobody said, unobtainium. That just sounds stupid. Unobtainium. What the actual, oh my goodness.
The people who have been victimized historically are always right. It's not up to me, speaking from perspective of white privilege, if you will, to tell them that they're wrong, said James Cameron. Wait, hold up. People who have been victimized historically are always right? Always? Forever? Like on everything? I feel like it's a dumb standard by James Cameron, but then again, his movies outside of T2 are pretty dumb. The plot of the first movie, in which white human outsider Jake Sully infiltrates the Na'vi to save them from a corporation trying to exploit environmental resources from their land of Pandora, raised concern from indigenous groups. Cameron told Unilad he believes the new movie was able to sidestep that white savior motif. Lailatol Fitria, who researches decoloniality as an assistant professor at Claremont School of Theology. Man, we have way too many professional pseudo-academics. And we have an entire department researching decoloniality at Claremont School of Theology. Man, professional useless people. Said she had no interest in watching the sequel after she recently watched the first movie for the first time. Fitria said she was appalled that Jake became a Na'vi in that film, playing into what she called the colonialist trope that a foreigner can easily go native by looking the part and learning what's implied to be a primitive culture. So she also, Dances with Wolves, Blue Dances with Wolves, is very upsetting to this rando. The second movie was not much better, thought Manatin, a 19-year-old from Queensland, Australia, who is Maori. In it, Jake is now a Na'vi clan leader, and Tyne was offended by how the film reduces tamoko, a type of tattoo that is culturally significant and readable for Maori people, to abstract, meaningless shapes that serve more as an aesthetic on the characters' faces and bodies. Wait, so hold up. You're mad if they put the Maori tattoos that look like Maori tattoos on the characters in the movie. If they were actually to read like Maori tattoos, then it would make them more like the Maori, which would be more insulting. But also, if they don't quite look like that, then they're more insulting because they're not that. I feel like unfalsifiability is the thing with some of these folks.
So confusing. So, yeah, these guys and gals make no type of sense. They're always angry about something. Always angry about something. Like, just go out and enjoy life, son. Oh, well, the tattoos, they weren't realistic, so, I don't like it. But if they would have copied the tattoo, oh, well, that's cultural appropriation. I don't like it. Oh, man.
Tyne said, I'd love to see more Maori people and culture represented on screen, but I want to see Maori people playing them. Why do you want to see Maori people playing giant 11-foot-tall blue people? I don't want to have to sacrifice the significance of our practices that have already lost so much through colonialism. It's so tiresome. It's so tiresome. Autumn Asher Blackdeer, an assistant professor in the Graduate School of Social Work at the University of Denver. Again, why are we should not relieve student loan debt, not one iota. If you go to the University of Denver to major in the Graduate School of Social Work, Autumn Asher Blackdeer said the Avatar movies also add to the monolithic portrayal of Native people commonly used in media. The Na'vi are mystical and solemn noble savages, she said, with stereotypically angular cheekbones and long hair and braids. They also have physical characteristic Blackdeer's tribe, Southern Cheyenne, is known for, pronounced noses. This sounds kind of racist, like the only people who have pronounced noses are Southern Cheyenne or something. As a member of a historically persecuted people who are stereotypically told they have large noses, no. She said that because the movie's
You know what? Maybe that's the way that we can fight back. Is we act all offended too about everything. Oh, you said they're the only ones with elongated noses? Well, I'm offended because my family has elongated noses, and that's maybe that's the way to fight back. You know what? That is exactly what I'm gonna start doing in real life. In real life, if a leftist ever debated with me, I'm just gonna get all offended, same way they do, and yell and scream and just lose my mind, or at least act like I'm losing my mind. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give them the same thing that they give us. All right, you know what? I'm done with it. I'm done with it. There's no reasoning with these folks, so I'm just gonna yell and scream the same way that they do, and act all offended. Okay? Yep. You think y'all? I know some of y'all think I'm joking, but I'm so serious. I'm so serious. Watch me.
Draw from multiple indigenous tribes, it can imply all native people are the same. So if you're too specific, you're making fun of one native tribe. If you're broad enough that you encompass many native tribes, then you're too general, and the professional offended are a class in the United States. They really are, and they're unbelievably tiresome. Again, I'm not standing for Avatar. It looks really stupid. I haven't seen the sequel yet because, frankly, I don't have 9 hours of my life to spare for that yet. But
is the second one 9 hours? Yo, if that is the case, that is just absolutely ridiculous. Having a movie that is 9 hours? Nah, he's exaggerating. There's no freaking way the Avatar Part 2 is 9 hours long. Absolutely not.
You're going to pretend that we're all deeply offended by this? Seriously? Hey, so, I do have one piece of good news. So the New York Times has an article called Quiz. You can't say that, or can you? And it asks people to, like a survey, on whether they would say the following words. And it turns out that most people are relatively sane in the United States, even many New York Times readers. So only 16% of 10% of people said they would use the term chest feeding, which is good. Only 10% of people. Only 22% of people said they would use the term Latinx.
No, I just looked it up. It's 3 hours and 12 minutes. The Avatar 2, which 3 hours is still a long time for a movie. 3 hours. Holy.
And only 30% of people said they would use the term BIPOC. 34% of people said they would use the term birthing parents. And that one is starting to infuse the culture. However, some 86% of Americans who are surveyed by the New York Times say they would use the term pregnant women. And 85% said they would use the term breastfeeding. And 84% say they would use the term master bedroom. So perhaps the woke linguistic crowd has not completely taken over as of yet. Alrighty, guys.
Goodness. Thank goodness. Sheesh. So, yeah, I think one of the ways to fight back is just to act enraged, the same way they do, and give them the same medicine back. Whatever they give you, you send it back in return. Return to sender. I mean, at this point, you try to reason with them like, hey, you're reaching with this statement, and it's just in one ear and out the other. So, you know what? Forget about it. Yell back at them. I'm offended that you're even talking to me this way. I don't know. Just start making up stuff. Because that's all they do. Just make up reasons why they're angry about something. Get angry because they look at you the wrong way. Oh, you gave me a condescending look. I saw that look on your face. Hey, do y'all agree? You disagree? Let me know in the comment section. Has anyone seen the Avatar 2? Let me know in the comment section. What did you think about it for, whoever has seen it? Talk to me, please, 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 please. Like I said, I've never seen part 1 or this new one that just came out, part 2. So, yeah. Let me know. And were you offended by it? If you're watching this video, then probably not. But, hey, like Like I said, I've never seen it, so maybe there was something crazy offensive in it. I don't know. Let me know. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love, family. I'm out.